Could a second stimulus check be blocked when it reaches the House? That's the shocking news for Thursday, May 14th. Thanks for tuning in. This is LALATE. As always, like and subscribe and drop your comments below, and we may feature them in Friday's May 15th recording. And we'll be answering all 31 of your questions from yesterday's video. So let's get right to the news. Shocking news today. Chuck Schumer, Senator from New York, appeared on CNN and CNBC today, slamming Mitch McConnell and Democrats and Republicans who aren't moving. Especially, he took target at Mitch McConnell. He said the following, basically, that he's worried that the second stimulus package may not pass because of trouble brewing on the other side, namely Mitch McConnell. In recent days, Mitch McConnell has said that he will not support a second stimulus package that could pay you as much as $2,000 per month and as much as $600 for dependents if he does not see enough economic data. But Chuck Schumer and others, including myself on this channel, has said there's enough economic data. That economic data came from Steve Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary to Donald Trump, who on Sunday Talk Radio and Meet the Press said, hey, the unemployment rate is actually much worse. Current unemployment rates, according to Mnuchin, may be as high as 25%. And he warned it could get worse. Chuck Schumer says that is far more than enough data to indicate that a second stimulus package needs to be approved now. Schumer took further homage with Republicans, saying that they're trying to play a Herbert Hoover waiting game, pointing back to the Great Depression. He says that the worst thing that members of Congress could do is sit around and do nothing now, and that action needs to be taken immediately. LALATE has taken that position as well. As you may recall, the second stimulus package is a supplement to the CARES Act, which originally called for not one, but two stimulus checks. The first stimulus check was to come in April to pay for March, and then a second to come in May to pay for April. But when it got to a vote, the second check was dropped. The promises at the time from both sides of the aisle was that the second time this comes around, a check would be included. Nancy Pelosi has been talking about it extensively over the last few days. There have been packages as much as $2,000 per month for 6 months. There have been packages that include payroll deductions. There have been packages that include reducing the taxes that come off of your check on a weekly basis. In fact, that's come from Mnuchin himself. He wants you to retain as much of your check. Moreover, LA has detailed that several Democrats have called for legislation that would put $2,500 back in the pockets of Uber and Lyft drivers immediately. This follows as a new lawsuit was filed in California by its attorney general seeking $2,500 recoupment back to Uber and Lyft drivers who are classified as independent contractors by both companies, while California says that no, they are actually employees. A lot of stuff, including benefits and financials and liability issues. But so far, Mitch McConnell doesn't want to move. That's caused a big problem. Early in the week, LA has reported that Democrats and Republicans said this would come for a vote as early as Friday. By middle of the week, the indication was it wouldn't come to a vote until early next week. Now, Schumer's worried it may not come to a vote for a while. Let's get to your comments. First of all, comment below on what you think a stimulus check should involve, how much, how many months, and when should it be delivered. But here are your comments from Wednesday's recording. John Sherlaw says they're talking about doing a second coronavirus stimulus check of $1,200. $2,000 would be better if possible. I agree. $1,200 is nothing. Kimberly Valino says, welcome to America. The country that doesn't care about American people will leave you in the street like a dog in the street. Thank you, Kimberly. Agree 100%. Shannon Desiree, what a beautiful name. We absolutely need another stimulus check, but how do you leave that kind of responsibility to a bunch of toddlers? Well said, Shannon. Yvette Rivera, hello. Songs coming to mind, Amazing Grace and God Bless America. Well, thank you. Amy Perkins, thank you for the great update. Like many others, I agree a second stimulus check. $825 of my first stimulus check got taken for child support. Didn't get any stimulus for my 17-year-old twin sons. There needs to be 3 to 6 months of bailout plans, if at least $2,000 per person. $1,200 just doesn't go far enough. Agreed. Absolutely agreed, Amy. Many senators need to have their income taken, and then they can see what they're going through. It's absolutely ridiculous. I have been a tax-paying citizen since I was 14 years old, and I can't get some kind of help. I hope everyone out there gets voted out of office in November. Well said, Amy. If they don't move, vote them out. Kimberly Valentino, one thing I can say is thank God for you for caring for us and bringing us all the information. We are just so frustrated. Absolutely, Kimberly. You know, we need to continually talk about this. It can't be pushed under the rug. A recent poll from CNBC, of all places, 2 days ago, said more than 90% of Americans want a second stimulus check. So what are members of Congress doing? They're not representing us. Kristen Chester says, first of all, I want to thank you for your time and helping everyone go through this terrible situation. Well, thank you for tuning in, Kristen. I've tried several times to put my bank info into the system, and this is what happened. I was told I needed more information. Last time I tried entering my information, again, I was told it didn't match the information. I tried again, told my check would be mailed to the address on file 424. I received the check on 424. I received my Social Security pension check. They had my banking info. So what's going to happen with the next second stimulus check? Also applied for the $10,000 EIDL grant. Still waiting. Still applied for sole proprietor. God bless you, and thanks again, Kristen. So, Kristen, great point. That same CNBC poll asked viewers what they thought about a direct deposit on the second stimulus check. And overwhelming, I think it was over 85% said they absolutely would want a direct deposit on the second stimulus check. I mean, most people fear that this first check getting lost or getting delayed because someone wanted to put his name on it will just erupt again in a second stimulus check. So absolutely. Tracy Browning says, how do I get my first check? If you haven't got it yet, hopefully it comes in paper form. Maria Garcia. Thank you for your comments, Maria. Angie. Now, I love Angie's comments. The Senate should only be given $1,200 for how many months this turns into. Change their pay. They want to starve us. Change their money or have them voted out. Thanks for pointing out the banking information. Many who work from paycheck to paycheck don't have bank accounts. Was talking over a fence to a neighbor in that situation. Well, thank you for your comment, Angie. Foolish Coyote. $1,200 out of $3 trillion? No way. That's a whack amount. They gave us out of $2 trillion. Each individual still maxes out $1,200 a week. Get a whole another $1 trillion spent and none of us? Screw that. Well, great comment, Coyote. Kevin Daniel. Second stimulus check would be good. Open the country too early, but no one is listening. We've been listening. Country has been opening too early. CDC's data from last Monday, not this Monday, but the Monday before, says it's expecting 250,000 new cases of coronavirus per day compared to the 25,000 per day because America's opening too soon, as much as 3,000 deaths per day. Deborah Hockett, it's election year. These politicians are committing political suicide. We will remember how they're treating we the people. We will drain the swamp in both sides. Very well said. This is not an issue of Republican versus Democrat. It's an issue of people not moving. Now, we certainly know that Mitch McConnell is not moving, but there are people on both sides of both parties who haven't moved. What's their problem? Andrea, it's $1,200, $2,000. Did it change again? It hasn't changed anywhere. And the words of Chuck Schumer, it hasn't gone anywhere. The problem is that there have been a lot of proposals. $1,200, $2,000. $2,000 per month for 6 months. $2,500 for Uber and Lyft drivers. There's a lot of proposals. The problem is that nothing has passed. In fact, and the concern is when it's going to pass. We're not sitting here and giving you false hopes. Other channels are talking about things are passing. Things have not passed. They're just looming, and people are debating them. But we'll update them when they happen. Sue Massey, we're prevented from working, ordered to stay home. Was not what we asked for or wanted, but forced to do. To deny financial help is disgusting. Well said, Sue. For anyone wanting to be reelected president of senators, it would be a huge mistake to deny financial payment in a way to get direct payments, monthly payments. Another one time of $1,200 is throwing a little crumbs to starving dogs. So Sue says sending $1,200 is like throwing crumbs to starving dogs. Well said, Stu. I mean, this is middle May that you're watching this recording. You should have received 2 more $1,200 checks by now. And we're talking about a $2,000 check maybe arriving in June? Disgraceful, senators. As she says, disgusting and totally out of touch of what the working people are going through no choice of their own. Well said, Sue. Thank you for your comment. A Red Chan, thank you for your info. Well, thank you for watching, Red. We the people are paying our government to run our country. I can't believe the Republicans are having a hard time sending us a second stimulus check. It's not our fault we're having this incompetence con president who failed us all. A lot of people are failing us. A lot of people. Stephanie Sherrill, ridiculous. It is ridiculous. LaShawn Anderson with a wonderfully long post. I won't read it all, but she says we might stall our votes for that person and put someone else in their place. Very well said. But, the sad thing is, this is, that's, we're talking about November, October. This is now. How about now? We can take recourse against these people not moving in the fall, but where's the money now? The black men, I told people corporate fascism is coming. You read my comment and basically bunk on it. So no more so-called economists are smelling funky. Well, thank you for your comment. So all 31 of you, generally, said it's time for a second stimulus check. Most of you said it should be $2,000. And a few of you said that $2,000 should have been in your pockets in early May, if not April. What do you think? Drop your comments below and we'll feature them in Friday's recording. As always, stay tuned for LALATE for more.